Hello, stamping friends. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey, and I'm here with another virtual class while we're on vacation. I hope that you are checking in with us as we travel and enjoying some of the posts that I hopefully am posting. So we'll see. Today we're going to use the dies from the artistically inked stamp set. We're not using the stamps. I could use happy birthday because I'm making a birthday card, but we're going to use this die that is part of this bundle. I think after you see the card we make that you could also do the same thing with this die. So we'll have to kind of think about that and see if we want to try a different design using the same technique. Now the reason I made this card was I needed an anniversary card for our children, our son and his wife. I wanted something I hadn't made before. So I made this one, and it's a triple fold, I guess. So this is the second layer, and then this is the third layer. I'll show you how that works as we put this together. Now, today, this card that we're making will be a little bit different because, and I'll explain why as I'm making it. But isn't that kind of pretty? This has vellum here, and then the inside. So you could really write, you could put a gift card over here. You could use another piece of designer series paper and create a pocket for a gift card or money or whatever you want to do. I was looking through all my papers, and I'm on a mission to use my designer series paper. And I found some, I don't know what I did with it, paper that I liked. And I cleaned up and messed up, and I don't know where I put it. This is from the Dandy Design a Daydream. And after I was looking at it, I thought, well, it kind of looks like these flowers. It picks up the flower theme. And then I decided that that would work for us if I could find the piece of paper. So I might just have to cut another piece of paper. Well, here it is. It actually stuck to the stamp set when I picked it up. So you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock for your base. One is just regular 11 by 4 1/4. And then the other one is trimmed down just a tiny bit. So this is 4 by 10 3/4. So you're just trimming it down just a tiny bit on one edge. You're still going to score it at 5 1/2. This edge, this end is that 1/4 of an inch shorter. That just keeps it from being lumpy when you put your card together, because you're going to put this on the inside, and then when you fold this over, you don't want a big extra thickness of paper there. Does that make sense? So just trim off just a tiny bit of one end. Now the first thing we're going to do is adhere this to the front of our card base. But because we're going to die cut this, we don't want to put glue all the way around because we want to use this centerpiece. We're only going to put glue around the edge. And you could put glue, you could use tear and tape, you could use Stampin' Seal. Actually, I think I'm going to use Stampin' Seal because I can't get my glue to come out. And we can just put one row and we know we will be safe. We won't be getting close to our rectangle die. I think you could do this with other shapes, but today we're going to use the rectangle die. The great thing about this is since I'm putting the paper is Blackberry Bliss and I'm putting it on Blackberry Bliss cardstock, it's, if I'm not perfect, it's not going to show white around the edge. And then we're going to die cut this. We'll put a little piece of tape there to hold it in place, and we'll run it through the machine. Try and make sure it doesn't move on me. Don't want a crooked window. It's cutting two thicknesses. I would make sure that you run it through twice, just to get a good cut. I think that looks like it came out pretty good. And we'll carefully peel that off. You have to be careful with this tape sometimes. It will, if it gets through that cut and emboss machine, it kind of wants to stay on your paper. Now you have two pieces you can use. We'll put those to the side because we're going to use them. This rectangle is 2.5 by not quite 4, 2.5 by 4, so that's the size opening we wanted. But I think you can use, I'm sure you can use whatever opening you want. Now, do you see, I thought this looked pretty good with the fresh freesia. So we're going to emboss this with the embossing folder. But first we're going to cut out our floral image. Now on the other card, I used this new textured shimmer paper. I'm not sure what it, I think that's what it's called, ribbed. It's not as thick as I would have liked, and that's why I put the vellum behind there. I just didn't feel like it had enough weight to carry it, the weight of the card, without something to help it. But I'm going to use white glimmer paper, and it has a thicker backing on it, so it doesn't need the vellum behind it. You could use vellum, you could use a window sheet. I thought that textured vellum looked pretty on the other card. So now we're going to run this through with the white glimmer. And since it's glimmer, we'll run it through twice. Get a good cut. This is the glimmer paper that does not shed all over us. It makes it so much nicer. And we don't get glitter in our hair and on our face and everywhere else. Need to poke all of these little pieces out. Hopefully they'll come out pretty quick. That's pretty and nice and shiny, isn't it? You could use gold foil, silver foil, anything but just a piece of cardstock is a little too thin. If you wanted to use a piece of cardstock, then I would suggest doing double layers, using an adhesive sheet, just to give it some weight. These paper chads are all over my house. I vacuumed yesterday, but I think I need to vacuum again today. They stick to my shoes and stick to the carpet. This happy glitter. That looks pretty good. That's pretty sturdy. We don't have to worry about it not being strong enough for our card. We're going to go ahead and run this through now with the pretty flower embossing folder. Flowers, I thought we needed a flower texture here. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and start putting our card together. I want to make sure that we've got the right layer here. This one. We'll put some tape on here. I need to get a little closer to the edge. We just want to make sure those are lined up. Now this will go on here. It has a small border around the edge. I need to use glue on this one, so we're going to make this glue work. When you've embossed something, usually the tape doesn't work as well, and it will kind of tear your cardstock. I don't want that to happen. We'll center that. This is just to add some interest behind our frame. Need to push that down a little. Push this down. I think I'm going to trim a little more off of there. Seems to be kind of tight. Oh, that's going to be much better. It's one good thing that we can always do a little surgery and make things work. Now this is going to get layered here. Isn't that pretty? I mean, and it's so simple. All we need to do is add a little Tombow. Hold it in place. And then, of course, we're going to use our little trick with a piece of scrap paper. See where my glue is. I don't want to glue to the inside piece. And we'll get one of our scrap pieces here. I'm looking at this and wondering if we shouldn't use the vellum. I think we will. It sure is pretty though. No, we're not going to use the vellum. We're going to use a window sheet. I think that would be pretty. Let me cut. It might be pretty just like it is. I think it is. But we're going to add a little more glue here. We'll make sure this is adhered well. That'll brace it up. And we can put a little bit there. That's going to be perfect. Let me hold it down while it gets dry. We're going to put some bling on here in a minute. Now we've got the piece we took out of the inside. And we're going to stamp a sentiment. And I'll cut it. I wanted to use the sentiment from Amazing Year. You're an entire year more amazing and lovely as ever. And then Happy Birthday. We'll stamp that with Blackberry Bliss. I'm wondering if Blackberry Bliss might be one of the colors that goes away. I hope not. I wouldn't mind if Rich Raspberry went away, but I like Blackberry Bliss. And then let's do the Happy Birthday. We might put that on the front of the card. I have to, you know, I didn't think about any ribbon for this card, but not all cards need ribbon, so I think that's fine. Now we'll run this through the cut and emboss and this one. I think we can do both at the same time. We'll switch our plates around. And I didn't center this because I wanted to place for you to sign your name, for me to sign my name. So I left a little white at the bottom. These are kind of picky. once you get it started, they're okay, but you have to just be careful so you don't get rips. And we'll use that for our inside. Let's see if we should put, I like that. I think we'll, but I'm wondering, yeah, we'll put that here. I don't want to cover up that pretty part. We need some dimensionals. Here they are, right in front of me, underneath my dies. Now, so like I said, you can use a window sheet, you can use vellum, or you can leave it plain. This one looks like the glue must have gotten there. We'll pat that off. If you get glue on something like that, you can take your embossing buddy or some baby powder and put on there, and it'll soak up the glue. Put that there. You don't really have to worry about it being exact there because you're actually covering it up with this. And there's that little spot. Isn't that pretty? Now, we could put something else over here. I think we might do that. But let's put, I thought this bling, the iridescent rhinestones, would pick up the color of the Blackberry Bliss. I don't know where I want to put it. I'm thinking just on the frame and not on the flower. Let's see what happens if we put one or two. Not so sure they're gonna, yeah, I think we can put 3 in the center of that flower. A little cluster. Have to push hard for it to stick to the glitter. That looks pretty. And then we'll put one down here. I actually think that's too big. So I'm going to pull it off carefully. And I'm going to use one of the small ones. I'm not wild about the large ones. That's just a little more subtle that way. See if I can't move that a little bit. Huh. Once these are down, they don't want to move, do they? Now what we'll do, we'll make it be 3. Cute. I like it. 3, 3. Maybe we should put 3 there. I think so. Ooh, nice and blingy. Isn't that pretty? Get my embossing buddy out. Take care of that. And then I'm wondering if this would look, is this too much to put? Yeah, that's too much. We don't need that there. We'll just leave that plain. But I see how I was thinking, could you put that on a window card? It wouldn't be, I think you could. Might be something to try another time. I really appreciate you joining me while I am out of town and you're still popping in and watching. Let's go ahead and close this up. I'll show you this one and the inspiration card. And they're both a little different. But they're both pretty, aren't they? I turned that one a totally different direction. Maybe I should, I don't. And this one is an anniversary card. And this one is a birthday card. Again, thank you for joining me today, and I will be back, I promise, sooner or later, and we'll make some cards together. Bye.